Have you ever felt like the world is moving too fast, and you're struggling to keep up? That everyone around you is racing ahead while you're left in the dust, wondering if you've missed something important? The truth is, you're not alone. There's a unique kind of loneliness that comes with deep thinking, a feeling of being left behind because you're questioning the very fabric of the reality everyone else is happily accepting. And it's not because you're wrong. It's because you're asking the questions that no one else wants to ask. Let me explain why this happens. We live in a world where convenience is king. People want simple answers, quick solutions, and easy comforts. But deep thinkers, those who seek to understand the world in its raw, unfiltered form, are often seen as outsiders. Why? Because they challenge the status quo. They don't just accept things as they are. They push, question, and prod until the foundations of society seem to crack beneath their feet. This phenomenon has been observed throughout history. Think of Socrates, who questioned everything, even the very ideas people thought they understood. He was sentenced to death for his trouble, simply because his relentless questioning made the people around him uncomfortable. Or consider Friedrich Nietzsche, who boldly declared that God is dead and pushed humanity to confront its own meaninglessness. Both of these thinkers faced rejection, isolation, and, in some cases, persecution, not because they were wrong, but because they forced others to confront uncomfortable truths. But why does society react this way? Why does it seem like the deeper you think, the more distant people become? One key reason lies in the human need for security. Most of us rely on the world around us to stay stable. We hold on to familiar beliefs, cultural norms, and social structures because they make us feel safe. When someone challenges these things, they aren't just questioning ideas, they're questioning the very sense of security we've built our lives around. And that can be terrifying. The deeper a thinker goes, the more they threaten the stability others have come to rely on. But here's the interesting part. This isn't just about intellectual disagreement, it's psychological. When someone presents a radically new idea, the brain's natural reaction is one of fear. Psychologists call this the cognitive dissonance effect. When faced with an idea that contradicts our beliefs, our brains experience discomfort. The more entrenched we are in our worldview, the stronger this reaction becomes. It's not about logic or reason. It's about the emotional discomfort of having our sense of self and security shaken. Imagine you're standing in a room and the floor suddenly starts shaking. Your immediate reaction isn't to analyze the source of the tremor, right? It's to panic, to hold on to something solid, anything that feels secure. That's what people do when deep thinkers present them with ideas that challenge their worldview. Instead of engaging with the idea, they cling to the familiarity of what they already know. This is why deep thinkers can feel so isolated. They aren't just offering ideas, they're offering a challenge to the very foundation of society itself. But here's the catch. While this resistance to new ideas can be painful, it's also what drives human progress. Every major breakthrough in history was initially met with skepticism and resistance. Think of the moment when Galileo suggested that the Earth revolved around the sun. He was condemned as a heretic. Or when Charles Darwin introduced the theory of evolution, an idea that shook the very foundations of science and religion. Today, we view these ideas as revolutionary, yet at the time, they were seen as dangerous and unsettling. So, how do deep thinkers navigate this tension between pushing the boundaries of understanding and facing rejection? The key is in accepting that the road less traveled is often a lonely one. The more you dive into the depths of philosophy, science, or any field of deep inquiry, the more you'll find yourself at odds with the comfortable, surface-level answers that most people are content with. And that's okay. In fact, the discomfort of being a deep thinker can be a powerful tool. It forces you to see the world more clearly, to step outside of your own biases and to question everything you once thought was true. And while this might make you feel isolated at times, it also sets you up to become a force of change, because the very questions that make others uncomfortable are the same questions that have the potential to reshape our understanding of the world. But how do you deal with the loneliness that comes with this? It's simple, really. Embrace it. Recognize that you're not alone in your struggle. Throughout history, the greatest thinkers were often misunderstood in their time, but their ideas endured. And over time, the world caught up with them. The challenge for deep thinkers isn't to avoid loneliness or rejection, it's to persist despite it. To continue questioning, to continue pushing the boundaries of understanding, even when the world resists. In the end, the question isn't whether being a deep thinker is worth it. The real question is whether the rest of society is ready to engage with the uncomfortable truths these thinkers offer. Because the more we resist, the more we blind ourselves to the possibility of real change. But if we embrace the discomfort, if we welcome the challenge of new ideas, we open the door to a deeper, more meaningful existence. So the next time you find yourself feeling isolated in your thoughts, remember this. The greatest minds in history were often the loneliest. But it was their willingness to stand alone that allowed them to see the world in ways others couldn't. And maybe, just maybe, you're on the same path.